People that are just draining you constantly because all they do is call your phone and vent to you about their problems 24/7 without even inquiring about anything dealing with you. Stop picking up those phone calls.
You are now tuned into the Doscinco Project.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, no matter where you're at in the world. I'm glad you're here with your boy. You are now tuned into the Doscinco Project, baby. Now let me tell you, man. Philadelphia got hit with a heavy storm. I think majority of the United States got hit with some significant amount of snow this past week, right? But Philadelphia hasn't seen this much snow in quite some time. I mean, actually a few years. And I will say that maybe about a couple years ago, there was about 2 years where we didn't experience any kind of snow at all. I think it was like a mild winter, right? But nonetheless, we got a lot of snow this year, or should I say this week. And when I tell you, you go to the grocery store, the moment the news says anything about some kind of storm, people start acting like it's the apocalypse, y'all. And it's almost like this me, gimme, forget everybody else as if they don't exist in society, right? And I get it, right? I get it. You want to protect your family. You want to ensure that your family has everything that it needs. But dad, you going to take all of the packets of chicken, y'all? You're going to take all of the meats in the grocery aisle? I mean, the moment we go in, I'm looking at the meat aisle, there's no more meats there, man. There's no more. So somebody's packing all the meats, pause, in the crib. You know, so we're going down the grocery aisle, and it's almost as if it's taking me back, because I had PTSD back from when we had COVID, but I had PTSD from a different situation. It wasn't the fact that, the body counts and all this mass hysteria and all of this fear mongering. It wasn't none of that during COVID. It was more or less, you can't even go to the grocery store because all the toilet paper is gone. You understand? All of the toilet paper was gone. I mean, people, it was like no toilet paper during COVID. Right? So now you got to look for alternative ways in order to wipe your behind while you understand what I'm saying? PTSD, y'all. I mean, we had listen, don't judge me. We had toilet paper in the crib. Okay. I'm just making an example and trying to make light of it. But this storm that we just had, man, people out here just taking all the meats. Pause, man. Come on. What are we doing? So anyway, we had a storm. Snow was very heavy. I will say that it took me about 2 hours to clear out the driveway yesterday. When I tell you that was a workout in itself, I planned on exercising. That was a workout in itself. The next day, my body feeling like I need to be in a nursing home. It's just as simple as that. But anyway, nonetheless, right? A couple days ago, I was on Netflix. They just released a new series, which is actually a revamping of an old show called Star Search. Right. So Queen said, she said, let's sit down. Let's just watch this. Now, I'm not really big on talent show type of like American Idol. And I'm not really big on that. Honestly, I could do without it. But nonetheless, I sat down and I watched it. And I'm glad I did. There was this performance that really struck a chord with me, got me all in my emotions. I was feeling it. And it was Bear Bailey. And for those that don't know, I think at the time of this recording, he has about 700,000 followers on Instagram. And I believe he's like a country singer. I don't know too much about him, but he sang a song like you wouldn't believe, to the point where he had one of the judges, Jelly Roll, out here crying and praising the Lord, right? Praising it. I really enjoyed that rendition of that song that was performed by him. But then when I started to do research like everybody else, everybody's going through YouTube after that performance, and now they're all doing their research on the song, and we all start watching this song. And when I tell you the impact of this song, I can describe it, but I'd rather show you. So let's get right into the overall performance, and then we'll get back to what I was saying, right? Dope performance though. Let's get right to it.
Yeah, there's times when my hands go up freely, and times when it comes. Yeah. There's days when the praise comes out easy, and days when it takes all the strength I've got left. I'll bring my heartfelt. I've been through hell, hallelujah.
Woo!
And I'll bring my storm-tossed, torn story to tell, hallelujah. 'Cause God, you've been patient. My God, you've been gracious, faithful, whatever.
Let me tell you, I don't mean to stop it, y'all. My bad, I don't mean to stop it. But I was also doing research too, and YouTube talking about they will demonetize your video if you play it continuously, right? So that's the only reason why I'm cutting it out right now, so I can add my input, so I can stay monetized when I get monetized. But this video, man, I'm getting goosebumps and chills just listening to it and watching the reaction of the judges, right? This song is so dope, man. And I think it rings well with everyone. Everyone can really feel it because we're all human, and we've all experienced these hard fought battles in life, right? We've all experienced fighting these demons each and every day, fighting the elements of life. It's a spiritual battle, y'all. If you don't know it's a spiritual battle, it is a spiritual battle out here, right? And we're constantly fighting the negativity each and every day, battling within ourselves. And this song rang true. When I tell you the music industry today does not create impactful music like it did back in the day, where it really touched the heart and the soul and made you feel it. I'm talking about, it was so bland. But then when I heard this performance, I'm like, wow. When I tell you, when I was shoveling that snow for the past 2 hours, I had that song on replay. And when I tell you that song is 5 minutes long, for 2 hours on replay, because there was hard fought battles, hallelujah, as I was picking up that snow. Okay. But it also made me it was such a great feeling to have, knowing that someone is literally writing this song and performing it the way you feel inside. A lot of us feel this inside. So
I'm feeling all faces. I'll bring my heartfelt beating well, hallelujah.
well, I guess that was the end of the video, but overall, man, that performance was great. And then I went down that rabbit hole like everybody else and started to listen to the music, listen to the Jelly Roll version as well. And when I tell you, we all experience this thing called life similar. Even though we have different situations that come up, we all experience this life very similarly. We've all experienced heartbreak. We've all experienced a loss in the family, a loss within friends, even friends breaking up. And now you experience that loss, knowing that you're mourning the death of that relationship, even though those people are still alive. It's a hard fought battle each and every day. But I love the song because a lot of people don't really understand this. But if you do your research, It says hard fought. The song is called Hard Fought, Hallelujah, right? And if you really look at that phrase, hallelujah, it's basically saying praising Jah, right? Now, who is Jah? Like Jah, Jah, right? When you continue to do your research, you start to realize Jah is a short form of the word Jehovah, right? And when you start doing additional research, you start to find out, wow, that's God's name from the Bible. A lot of people confuse it with the Son of God, which is Jesus Christ. But, when you just do the research, it's so dope. And not trying to get preachy at all, but, it's literally sanctifying the name of the Almighty God, and it's just a great song to just listen to, especially when you're stressed out and bogged down in life. We're all experiencing something each and every day. I'm going to be honest. Sometimes I wake up and I'm not feeling it. Sometimes I'm going back and forth with my thoughts as far as how I'm going to tackle the day. A lot of times we have those pressures of life hitting us each and every day. But what are we going to do about it? Are we going to just sit there and be a victim, or are we going to stand there and be a victor and continue to fight each and every day? Because it's long and hard fought, like the song said. And you need that strength sometimes. Sometimes you need that strength from a higher power. A lot of people like to say, oh, the universe this, the universe this. Man, the universe is a creation. How about we implement God back to it? How about we implement, the creator back to it and start to, phrase it back to him? Because a lot of people want to distract and they want to, detach themselves from the word God as if it's a malicious thing. But at the end of the day, we are all creatures of him in his image, and we have a spiritual need. If you only, Cat Williams, I believe in the Theo Von podcast, said, you have to believe in something else in life. If you only believe in yourself, that's all you have to reference from. But if you believe in a higher power, if you believe in God, now you can go to him and you can put your burdens on him and you can ask him to strengthen you, I mean, each and every day, a lot of times we're trying to motivate ourselves in order to make things happen in this world, right? And motivating ourselves in order to get from week to week, paycheck to paycheck, problem to problem, right? Sometimes we got to put all of our burdens on a higher being. And it just feels so, even if you're an atheist, right? And you're somebody that just doesn't believe in anything or don't believe in God, and you believe in science. Okay, that's fine. But wouldn't it feel better to actually believe in something higher than you? Something higher than you. I mean, I believe so. I believe so. I think the power of spirituality is very key. I think we all need it in our life. We're all battling so many things in this world, but sometimes you got to do a self-assessment for your own well-being. And sometimes you got to analyze what's making you feel negative. What are those external factors that are bringing you down and bogging you down? Sometimes we may not realize it, but when you really do a deep analysis on yourself, sometimes you realize you're the culprit. You're the problem sometimes. And we don't want to admit to it because sometimes we're very haughty and we don't want to admit our wrongs. Some of us don't want to accept accountability. But if you get real with yourself and you sit back, you're like, man, I damaged these relationships because of me, because I was very selfish in life. I lost my relationship with my girlfriend, or you lost your relationship with your boy because I cheated on the person. I backstabbed him. I had an affair. Those are the things you really have to look at. You got to look at what you contribute to the destruction of certain things half the time. You can't get upset with people when they decide to leave you. You can't get upset with people when problems arise and you realize, hey, you're a participant of those problems. Some people like to just hang there and become a victim, but you got to understand you play a large role in that victimhood that you're a part of right now. You want everybody in this world, or everyone within your world, should I say, in your realm, to kind of lift you up constantly when you're dragging everybody down. A lot of times that could be the case. So you got to really do a self-assessment. Or if better yet, if you believe that you are a good person and you believe that you contribute a small percentage to the destruction of certain things, and you feel like maybe it's your circle of friends not really completing you, so to speak, or making you fulfilled or having you fulfilled, maybe you just gotta kind of distance yourself and exit out of those relationships. Maybe you got to do that. You can't heal in an environment that hurts you. I'm going to say it one more time. You cannot heal in an environment that hurts you. If you're constantly in that state of hurt, how can you heal? That's like peeling off the scab of a wound each and every day. How do you expect that scab to heal? How do you expect your skin to heal up? Same thing with emotions, same thing with mental. You got to make sure you're putting yourself in a room full of people or in an environment that will allow you to heal and grow. If you're around constant negativity, or you're filling up your heads with constant negativity, how do you expect to even experience any kind of positivity in your life? Sometimes it doesn't even necessarily have to be people. Sometimes you can be scrolling on the internet and all you do is watch fights. All you do is watch people arguing. All you do is watch wars. All you do is watch all of the negativity in the world. And then you wonder why the moment you put that cell phone down, you feel horrible. It's all about what you put into your brain, what you put into your mind. And some of you are probably saying, well, I can't get out of my situation right now. I'm in a toxic relationship with my parents, and I live with them, and they support me. I'm 16 years old or I'm 20 years old, and it's very hard for you. I can understand that. But there's always solutions, and there's always alternatives for the issues that may arise in your life. If you don't like the house in which you're in, and you feel like it's very negative, then stay out of the house until it's time to come in and go to sleep. Go to the gym, go to a coffee house, do something, be productive with something. And if it's something that's not feasible for you, okay, lock yourself in your room and listen to gospel music or listen to some kind of, positive music. There's always, what I'm trying to say, I may not have the solution for you, but there's always ways to make your life circumstances a whole lot better. It's not always doom and gloom all the time. If you feel as though you're around energy suckers, people that are just draining you constantly because all they do is call your phone and vent to you about their problems 24/7 without even inquiring about anything dealing with you, then slowly but surely stop picking up those phone calls. In life, you have a chance and you have a choice. You got a chance to either do something great or you got a chance to kind of destroy yourself in the process. And you have choices in the process as well. You got a choice to either entertain that negative conversation that continues to boggle you down, or you got a choice to say, you know what, I'm going to eliminate that out of my life and I'm going to move forward and I'm going to try to build myself incrementally. Every day, you should be looking to improve yourself. Every day, you should be analyzing the relationships in which you have and analyzing yourself in the process. Because like I said before, it's not always the people. Sometimes it can be you. Sometimes it can be you. Sometimes you could be the one that people need to distance themselves from. And that's okay. But you need to understand that you need to have a little bit more self-awareness. Because if you have self-awareness, then you're able to kind of improve your circumstances. And if you don't know where to start or how to start, just choose one thing that you can improve on in your life today and make that happen until you achieve it. And then once you achieve it, you look for something else to improve on. It's all about small incremental steps in your life, y'all. Small incremental steps. And there's times where it's just, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. I will say for years, my faith in God, my faith in, in the Bible, my faith in spirituality was heavily shaken. Because life gets to you sometimes. But there's countless stories by way of the Bible, especially the four Gospels, where they talk about Jesus, where, he talks about healing those that are faithless. He talks about building up those that are even faithful. Because even his disciples, even his apostles, they went through some torments even after the fact. They continue to go through life. And it wasn't like they had these magical powers on them that kind of, shielded them from all of the negativities of life. No, they continued to deal with the negativity while Jesus was there and when Jesus left. They just had to rely fully on God and on their spirituality in order to kind of, push the envelope forward, so to speak. But yeah, my faith was shaken for years. It got to the point where I was so mad at God for all of the issues that were coming into my life. So mad at God because of the problems that I was enduring or that I was just going through. And so mad at God because it's like, why am I even here on this nasty earth? Why am I even dealing with all of this crazy wickedness? And it's not on some suicidal stuff because I'm definitely not that. But sometimes you question, like, why am I even here? What's the purpose? We get older to die. That was the mindset during that time. And then I soon realized as I started to heal, and the way I started to heal was I started to pray. You can't build a relationship if you don't have communication. So I started to pray. And then I started to be in the present moment. And in that present moment, I started to realize all of the good that was around me because it was all blinded by my past or by the future. And a lot of us as humans, we're either stuck in the past or we're stuck in the future. And when you're stuck in the past, you get depressed because you're always looking at oh man, I wish I was back in my childhood again. Oh, it was so glorious. Now you're starting to feel a certain type of way. Or when you're thinking about the future, you're thinking about the what ifs that might happen in your life. Now you're anxious. Now you got all this anxiety. What if I lose my job today? What if this person leaves my life? What if my parents pass away? What if this person passes away? What if I step outside and I get hit by a car? Like you're always thinking about the future, or you're always dwelling in the past. But very few of us are in the present moment each and every day. And when you're in the present moment, you can see the beauty that's around you. Some of the beauty that was around me during that time that my faith was shaken and I had an awakening was the beauty of my kids. The fact that I had two beautiful, healthy boys during that time and how they looked at me for their every waking call to make their lives a whole lot easier. And they gave me the strength. Literally, they gave me the strength. And I told my oldest son, I said, you don't even realize it, but you saved my life. When he was born, he saved my life. Why? Because now I have something, I have purpose. I have something to continue on for. I don't have to hang out with individuals that were destroying themselves and therefore going to destroy me in the process. I can now live for them. I can now show them the way, and I can now, show them what a good, positive role model I can possibly be for them. It's just on them and following that. But now I have these boys that heavily rely on me. And then you start to see even like go outside. If it's warm enough for you in the climate or what have you, go outside, take a walk, look at the trees, look at the birds, look at something in nature, and you start to see the beauty in it. You literally start to see the beauty within nature, I remember when I was in high school, we were in a science class and we took a leaf, and we put it up under the microscope. And while putting it up under the microscope, we start to see the cells moving. It was like a world in its own within that particular leaf. It was a microscopic world that was moving where you saw the chlorophyll and you saw everything moving. It's like a whole system within that. That's the beauty of nature. I remember going to a conference in, I think it was Colorado, and I never saw, let me remind you, I was born and raised in the city, so we had a lot of light pollution, and so therefore couldn't really see the stars at night. We see the moon, we see like 1 or 2 stars and call it a day, and we just think there's 2 stars plus a moon out there in the world, out there in the universe, and that's it. Well, went to Colorado. And at night, I sat down on a like a camp chair and I looked up and I let my eyes dilate in the pitch black dark and I saw countless amounts of stars. I thought that was only found in the movies. I saw countless amounts of stars. And then I saw this huge cloud like right across, like within the stars. And I asked somebody, I was like, man, that's a large cloud. And he said, it's not the cloud, it's the Milky Way galaxy. I said, what? That's the Milky Way. That right there is the Milky Way galaxy. The beauty of nature, y'all, if we just pay attention to it, is something that can captivate all of our minds. Look at the positivity within your life. Even in trying circumstances, you can see the positive in it. There are people right now that's serving life in prison and they have to make it work. So therefore, in order to get through the time, you have to keep yourself busy. There are people right now that are in impoverished areas, and you think that with them being in impoverished areas, you would think that they would be depressed and sad, but they're some of the happiest people. And the individuals that have all of this wealth and all of this money and all of this materialistic things, they go into these lands and they wonder why these people are very happy. They're happy because they're enjoying their life as it is. They see the positive within it. They have air in their lungs. They're able to see. They're able to hear. Whatever that positivity is, they dwell on that. Sometimes positivity is just within family. We don't even realize the power of connection. The power of connection is very deep, y'all. Very deep. Just being around family members, especially those that you love and you care about, and those that are very positive. A lot of us come from dysfunctional families. It is what it is, but you can find the functionality within it. You can try to make it work. So always see the positive in your life. Even when it's negative, see the positive within that. The fact that you woke up and you're already in your negative thoughts, just think about it. I woke up today. Not too many people can say that. So I'm very excited because in 2026, I told myself at 40 years old that I want to write a book. I want to write a book. I've always wanted to be an author. I had that since childhood. And a lot of us don't realize it, but when we were children, we had all of these dreams and aspirations. And as we got older, all of that got killed by the mundane things in life. And now you got to work, and now you got to try to provide for yourself in your survival mode. And so therefore, a lot of your childhood dreams exit your plan. You're no longer thinking about that. Well, I want to make a childhood dream come true. And like I told you guys before, I was very fascinated with the Goosebump books by R.L. Stein back in the day. I always wanted to be an author. And so therefore this year I am going to make that dream a reality. And in my book, I talk a little bit about homelessness, right? It's going to be a fiction book, but it's going to have a lot of deep gems within it. And it's going to talk a little bit, it's going to dive into the background of homelessness within this one particular character that I'm portraying, or that I'm creating within the book. And that homeless character is actually derived from a song that I wrote back in my early teens, where I was talking about how this doctor that was once affluent went through some trying times with his family. And so therefore the destruction of his family took place. He went insane. He lost his job and everything that was a part of it. And now he's sleeping on the park bench and he's homeless. The power within that particular story that I'm actually about to create into a book format, which I'm looking forward to because I've already created the outline. But, it dives really deep into homelessness, because as we look at this thing called life, a lot of people we bypass on the streets each and every day are homeless people. And sometimes we treat them like animals, or as if they're a part of the wall, or a part of, as if they're a stationary thing that we just walk past each and every day. And some of these homeless people, yes, they look like they're very mentally ill. Yes, they are talking to themselves. Yes, they could be severely on drugs. But those individuals had lives indoors at one particular time, had a family that they were once around, smiled during particular moments, had laughter, had a happiness within them once upon a time. We don't know what these people go through on a regular basis, but we bypass them each and every day. A lot of us act like they don't even exist. But why did I mention that? Because it's all about, the beauty in humanity is knowing that we provide respect and we provide love to others. And those individuals that are out in the streets, I'm very sure they didn't intend for their lives to be that way. Just think about it. Put yourselves in the shoes of a homeless person, right? Try to fathom being in their shoes, right? Try to imagine being in their shoes, so to speak. And just imagine what took them there. In Philadelphia right now, there is a growing issue. There is a growing drug market on Kensington and Allegheny, which is about 10 minutes away from where I grew up. Open drug market. I'm talking about homelessness like you wouldn't believe. And the sad reality is the newer generation of rappers, they go out there kind of for this tough guy approach and to showcase what's going on, but they're not showcasing what's going on from a standpoint of, oh, we feel bad for them. They showcasing it from, we're in the trenches. Look how bad we are because we out here with the trenches in the trenches with the fiends, and this is where we grew up. So this makes me bad and tough. That's all that is, man. It's an image. It's an image. But if you really dig down to it, Kensington, Allegheny is a huge drug market, right? And there's so many people. It's not a lot of residents from Philadelphia. It's not people from within the neighborhood. A lot of those people that are now stuck there, stuck in the trap, so to speak, they come from all parts outside of Philly, Bucks County, Montgomery County, Delaware, other cities. A lot of times they go into the city, they go into that drug market thinking that they're going to get a hit. And then next thing you know, they're stuck there because the drug is just overwhelmingly powerful that it takes control of their body. And now they become slaves to it and they're stuck. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine taking something that you thought was just going to get you high for a certain period of time, but now you're a slave to it? And then if you really psychologically analyze why people take drugs, a lot of times it's to escape a problem, y'all. A lot of it is to escape their current reality. And they don't realize that by doing that now, you're a slave to the drug that helped you escape that reality. A lot of these homeless individuals are not bad people. Yes, they are probably stealing. They're probably stealing because they're trying to keep that high, because the high is much more soothing than the withdrawal. There's also been, accounts where people don't want the withdrawal. They don't want to be without that drug because their bodies hurt. Now they feel sick, extremely sick, to the point where it's unbearable, where you want to die. That's the reason why they're trying to keep that high, because they don't want to feel the effects of the withdrawal that's going to make them feel like they're about to die. So now they're stuck. You understand? Not only stuck in the neighborhood, but now they're stuck between keeping the high or losing it and suffering the consequences of losing that high because of the withdrawal. It's tough, y'all. It's tough. So the next time you walk past a homeless person, just understand that person that person has a story. That person once, had a family, once had people that loved them, probably has kids, probably had a successful marriage, a successful business at one particular time. You don't know where these people come from. It's all about respect. On a lighter note, y'all, I heard that there was this girl that created a Dr. Pepper jingle, right? And I gotta go to the lighter note, y'all, because I know we really got deep real fast. But on a positive side, there was this girl that created a jingle for Dr. Pepper. And Dr. Pepper, baby, that's all I know. But anyway, she got $2 million check for that. Changed her entire life. And so with that, now you have so many people online creating jingles for different brands, right? And I want us to go right into one of the videos where you just see these people randomly just creating these jingles, thinking that they're going to get a $2 million check or something substantial as well, right? Hold on, let's make this happen real quick.
It ain't soda if it ain't Coca-Cola. Shit, no.
Walmart, Taco Bell, it's so swell, but be prepared to see your stomach to hell.
Pop that top, yeah, you know the code. One sip in, it's Coca-Cola mode. The real thing.
Somebody hand me a Sprite, got me feeling alright. Mix that lemon with lime, have a wonderful time. Captain D's, it's the best fish to me, with some sweet tea and some mac and cheese.
I have a theme song for Dr. Pepper, and it goes like this. Dr. Pepper, baby, it's good and nice. Doo-doo-doo.
So now everybody's creating these jingles. And I know these brands, these companies are loving it right now. They loving it because now it brings more attention to their products, right? So but it also shows you how talented we are as people. You know, just think, right? You got a Walmart greeter that decides to go on TikTok and create a jingle for a commercial, and then next thing you know, blows up that particular product. Like, this is what we have here, right? This is what ad agencies do on a regular basis. This is what ad agencies do on a regular basis. And now you have all these people. Well, you know, I got my own jingle as well. When I heard about the $2 million from the woman that did the jingle for Dr. Pepper, I said, you know what? I can do that as well. Chick-fil-A. I got a song for y'all, right? I put it up on my social media. It ain't getting no traction like I thought, but I'm going to share it with y'all. You know, I thought it was pretty cool. I actually went on ChatGPT. I created the artwork for it. And man, let's just take a listen.
You crave Chick-fil-A on Sundays, but you gotta wait until Monday. You crave Chick-fil-A on Sundays, but you gotta wait until Monday. You crave Chick-fil-A on Sundays, but you gotta wait until Monday. 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 Yo, Monday.
Talk to me. And that's let me tell you, and that's the realest. That's the realest jingle. That's the realest jingle. You crave Chick-fil-A on Sunday, but you gotta wait until Monday, right? How many of us been there before? You know, shout out to Chick-fil-A. You're doing your thing, you know, but how many of us like, man, I go for a chicken sandwich right now. I'll go for some chicken nuggets right now, right? Chicken tenders, whatever. Damn, you go over there, you realize they closed. Closed on Sunday. You know, now you gotta wait until Monday. Come on, man. That jingle needs to pop. Chick-fil-A, come pay me. Come pay me. I'll give you the rights to it. We make it happen. You know, but shout out to everybody that's getting very creative, getting fun with creating these jingles with these products, because you're really showing your talent and you don't know where that talent might take you. You know, so here we are. I'm going to close out this episode, but we got deep very fast. And then we hit it on a lighter note. Shout out to the girl that created the Dr. Pepper commercial, because now you done created a bunch of ad agency reps that can potentially get jobs from the jingles they create for these other products. But anyway, this is episode 50. Please feel free to like, subscribe, follow me on all of my social media platforms, you guys. This is great. Like I said, it's all about consistency. It's all about staying positive, and it's all about having respect for others. Remember, it's all about staying in your present reality, okay? Finding the good in it, and don't dwell on the past, or don't get anxious about the future, y'all. Each and every day, it's about making steps to improve ourselves and each other. We got planes to catch. We ain't got no time for the what? For the nonsense. Holla.